The Xeric Confederation's survey vessel emerged from quantum space at the edge of an unremarkable yellow star system. Captain Naira Valen stood on the command deck, her iridescent scales reflecting the soft blue glow of the ship's holographic displays. After 3 centuries of exploring the galaxy's spiral arm, the Xerics had categorized thousands of civilizations, yet none had ever surprised them. Until now. "Captain, we're detecting unusual energy signatures from the third planet," reported First Sensor Krell, his compound eyes rapidly processing the incoming data. "The readings, they don't match any known technological progression patterns." Naira moved closer to the main display, her tail swishing with curiosity. The Xerics had perfected the art of first contact, their advanced technology allowing them to observe primitive species without detection. Every civilization followed a predictable path of development, from industrial pollution to clean energy, from radio waves to quantum communications. But something about this system defied their models. "Magnify the orbital space around the third planet," she ordered. The holographic display shimmered and expanded, revealing a sight that made her heart skip a beat. Scattered throughout the planet's orbit were structures that shouldn't exist, not for a species that had barely established a presence on their own moon. "Impossible," whispered Science Officer Venn, his normally stoic demeanor cracking. "Those are quantum entanglement arrays. But this species, they still use chemical rockets for planetary transport. They haven't even colonized their neighboring planets." Before Naira could respond, a new signal cut through their supposedly impenetrable quantum shields. A human voice, calm and clear. "Xeric vessel, you have entered protected space. This is the UES Prometheus. Please identify yourself and state your intentions." The command deck fell silent. No Level 2 civilization should have been able to detect their presence, let alone penetrate their quantum shields. Naira's scales shifted to a pale blue, a sign of deep concern among her species. "How did they?" Krell's question was cut short as new holographic projections sprang to life around them. A massive vessel had just quantum-tunneled into existence, less than a kilometer from their position. The human warship defied conventional design philosophy. It wasn't sleek like Xeric vessels or crystalline like the Aldaris. Instead, it seemed to exist in a state of controlled chaos, its hull rippling with patterns that hurt to look at directly. "Captain," Venn's voice trembled slightly. "I'm detecting technology we've never encountered before. Their ship appears to be utilizing quantum fields in ways our theories suggest are impossible. They're somehow maintaining multiple quantum states simultaneously while remaining in normal space." Naira made a decision. Open a communication channel. The standard first contact protocol seemed inadequate here, but they were all she had. "This is Captain Naira Valen of the Xeric Confederation survey vessel Starweaver. We come in peace, seeking to learn about new civilizations." The response was immediate, but not what she expected. The human ship began to transform, its hull flowing like liquid metal while maintaining its structural integrity. What had appeared to be a relatively small vessel expanded into something that dwarfed their survey ship. "Captain Valen." The human voice returned, now tinged with what could only be described as amusement. "We appreciate your peaceful intentions. However, we must inform you that Earth is not what you think it is. We've been watching your civilization for some time, waiting for this moment." The revelation hit Naira like a gravitational wave. They, the advanced Xerics who prided themselves on being the galaxy's observers, had themselves been the ones under observation. But how? When? "Your species follows a linear path of technological development," the human continued. "We chose a different approach. While you perfected existing technologies, we explored the impossible. Where you saw limits, we saw doorways. Would you like to learn why?" Naira looked at her crew, seeing in their expressions the same mix of fear and fascination she felt. In all their centuries of exploration, they had never been in this position. The observed rather than the observers, the students rather than the teachers. "Yes," she replied, her voice steady despite her racing thoughts. "We would like to learn." The human ship's response was to open what appeared to be a tear in space itself, a doorway to somewhere else. Then follow us, Captain Valen. Let us show you why humanity chose to hide its true nature from the galaxy, and why we chose this moment to reveal ourselves. As their ship followed the Prometheus through the spatial tear, Naira realized that the Xeric Confederation's understanding of the universe was about to change forever. The humans hadn't just developed technology, they had reimagined what was possible. And this, she suspected, was just the beginning of their revelations. The spatial tear deposited both ships in what appeared to be an entirely different dimension of space. Captain Naira Valen's sensors revealed they were still within the Sol system, but in a layer of reality that shouldn't exist. Massive structures floated in this strange dimension, their geometries challenging the fundamentals of physics as the Xerics understood them. "Welcome to the Quantum Veil," announced Commander Sarah Chen of the UES Prometheus. Her holographic avatar materialized on the Starweaver's bridge, a courtesy that demonstrated both technological prowess and diplomatic tact. "This is humanity's true home in space." Naira watched in fascination as her science officer, Ven, attempted to process the sensor readings. The structures around them seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously, their very presence defying conventional universal laws. "How?" Ven finally managed to ask. "Your species still relies on chemical propulsion for basic space travel. Your cities still burn fossil fuels. We've observed." "You've observed exactly what we wanted you to observe," Sarah interrupted, a slight smile playing on her holographic features. "Humanity learned early in its development that direct technological progression wasn't the only path forward. We made a different choice." The Prometheus guided them through the quantum veil, passing structures that Naira's crew struggled to comprehend. Some appeared to be shipyards, but the vessels under construction seemed to fold through dimensions that shouldn't exist. Others looked like research stations, but operated on principles that made Xeric quantum physics seem primitive in comparison. 50 years ago," Sarah continued, "we discovered something unique about human consciousness. While other species focused on manipulating the physical world, we found that our minds could directly influence quantum states. We didn't need to build better computers. We became the computers." The holographic display showed historical footage of human scientists working with early quantum systems. But unlike conventional quantum computers that required extensive cooling and isolation, these systems were interfacing directly with human neural patterns. "The breakthrough came when we realized that human consciousness naturally exists in a quantum state," Sarah explained. "Our thoughts, our creativity, our very consciousness operates on quantum principles that your species has never encountered. We didn't need to develop quantum technology. We needed to awaken what was already there." Naira's scales shifted to a deep purple of intense interest. "You're saying your entire species is naturally quantum entangled?" "Not exactly," Sarah replied. "But our minds can perceive and influence quantum states in ways that your technology can't replicate. We don't just observe quantum phenomena. We interact with them, shape them, become them." The Prometheus led them to a massive structure that seemed to pulse with possibilities. "This is the quantum core," Sarah said. "The heart of humanity's defense network. We don't build traditional weapons or ships. We create spaces where human consciousness can directly manipulate quantum reality." Suddenly, the structure shifted, revealing what appeared to be thousands of humans in suspended animation. Their minds were linked not to computers, but to the quantum fabric of space itself. The entire defense network wasn't run by artificial intelligence or advanced algorithms. It was powered by human dreamers, their consciousness expanded across quantum dimensions. "Your ship detected our quantum masking fields because human minds were actively maintaining them," Sarah explained. "Your sensors didn't pick up technology. They picked up thought itself." The revelation staggered Naira's crew. The Xerics had spent centuries perfecting their technology, following what they believed was the only logical path of development. But humans had simply stepped sideways into a different reality, discovering that consciousness itself was the key to manipulating the quantum realm. "But why reveal yourselves now?" Naira asked, her scientific curiosity overcoming her initial shock. "Why maintain the illusion of a developing civilization?" Sarah's hologram walked across the Starweaver's bridge, her form passing through solid objects as if to emphasize humanity's different relationship with physical reality. "Because the galaxy is changing, Captain Valen. We've detected something approaching. Something that thinks like we do. And we'll need allies who understand both traditional technology and our quantum approach if we're going to survive what's coming." The ominous warning hung in the quantum-shifted space as Naira realized that this revelation of humanity's true nature was just the beginning. The galaxy was about to change, and the Xereks found themselves facing a choice. Adapt to this new understanding of reality, or risk being left behind as humanity and their quantum consciousness reshaped the very fabric of space-time. The warning came not through conventional sensors or quantum arrays, but through the shared consciousness of humanity's dream-linked pilots. Something massive had entered the outer Sol system, tearing through the quantum fabric of reality with brutal efficiency. Captain Naira Valen watched from the Starweaver's bridge as the quantum veil erupted with activity. The human dreamers, still suspended in their quantum meditation chambers, had begun coordinating a response before traditional sensors even detected the threat. "Multiple quantum ruptures detected," Sarah Chen's hologram announced, her form flickering with unusual interference. "They're using consciousness-based quantum technology, but it's wrong, twisted. They're forcing their way through reality instead of working with it." The enemy vessels emerged from the tiers in space, massive organic mechanical hybrids that seemed to corrupt the quantum field around them. Where human quantum manipulation was a dance with reality, these entities were more like a battering ram, forcing their will upon the universe itself. "The Void Collective," Sarah explained, her voice tight with concentration, as she coordinated humanity's response. "We've been tracking their quantum signature for years. They're what happens when consciousness-based quantum technology is pushed too far, when the desire for power overcomes the need for harmony with reality itself." Naira's scales shifted to combat-ready crimson as she watched the Void Collective's ships advance. They were unlike anything in Xerek records. Their hulls seemed to absorb light and possibility itself, leaving dead zones in the quantum field where reality became rigid and unchangeable. "All Xerek vessels, maintain position within the quantum veil," Sarah commanded. "Your traditional weapons will be ineffective against them. Watch and learn why humanity chose to hide its true nature for so long." The UES Prometheus began to change. The liquid metal of its hull flowed and shifted, but this time it wasn't just changing shape. The ship was spreading out across quantum dimensions, becoming less of a vessel and more of a concept given form by human consciousness. Thousands of dreaming pilots worked in perfect harmony, their shared minds reshaping reality itself. "They're trying to lock down local spacetime," Sarah reported as the first wave of void ships launched their attack. "Make it conform to their version of reality. Standard quantum tunneling and manipulation won't work." Naira watched in awe as humanity demonstrated its true capabilities. The Prometheus didn't fire conventional weapons. Instead, it projected the combined consciousness of its linked pilots, creating zones where multiple quantum possibilities existed simultaneously. Where the Void Collective tried to force reality into a single state, humanity embraced infinite potential. The battle that unfolded was unlike anything in Xerek military doctrine. The void ships attempted to create zones of fixed reality, spaces where their twisted version of physics was the only truth. But humanity's quantum vessels responded by increasing local entropy, expanding the number of possible states until the Void Collective's rigid structures began to crack under the weight of infinite possibility. "This is why we needed allies," Sarah explained as the battle raged around them. "The Void Collective believes they can force the universe to conform to their will. They'd forgotten that consciousness isn't about control. It's about cooperation with reality itself." The Prometheus split into multiple quantum states, existing in several possibilities at once. Each state engaged a different void vessel, not with weapons, but with pure consciousness. The human dreamers projected their combined will, not to destroy their enemies, but to show them alternative possibilities, to force them to acknowledge the infinite nature of reality they were trying to suppress. "Your ship's sensors," Sarah said to Naira, "they can still detect traditional energy signatures, even in quantum space. We need you to track their core consciousness clusters. We can engage them in quantum space, but we need to know where their actual bodies are anchored in normal spacetime." Finally understanding humanity's strategy, Naira ordered her crew into action. The Xeric sensors, designed to map traditional spacetime, became crucial in identifying the physical anchors of the Void Collective's consciousness. With each cluster they located, the Prometheus's quantum attacks became more focused, more effective. The battle reached its climax as the largest of the Void ships attempted to establish a permanent zone of fixed reality, a space where quantum manipulation would become impossible. But humanity had anticipated this. Thousands of linked dreamers joined their consciousness into a single purpose, and the Prometheus transformed into something that transcended traditional understanding of spacecraft. It became a quantum possibility storm, a manifestation of human consciousness, given form in the space between realities. Where the Void Collective sought to impose order, humanity answered with infinite potential. The quantum storm engulfed the enemy vessels, not destroying them, but forcing them to experience every possible reality simultaneously. Unable to maintain their rigid control in the face of infinite possibility, the Void ships began to retreat. Their quantum signatures fractured, their attempt to impose their will on reality crumbling in the face of humanity's more harmonious approach to quantum manipulation. As the battle subsided, Naira finally understood why humanity had hidden its true nature for so long. This power, the ability to reshape reality through collective consciousness, would have terrified the galaxy's traditional civilizations. But now, facing an enemy that threatened the very fabric of spacetime, humanity's unique approach might be the key to survival. "They'll be back," Sarah said, her hologram stabilizing as the quantum disturbances settled. "And next time, they'll be better prepared. This was just a scouting force." Naira looked at her crew, seeing in their expressions the same mix of awe and uncertainty she felt. The galaxy as they knew it was about to change, and the Xerics would need to decide quickly whether to embrace humanity's quantum revolution or cling to their traditional understanding of reality. "Then we'll be better prepared as well," Naira declared, her scales shifting to a determined gold. "The Xeric Confederation needs to know what we've witnessed here. The galaxy needs to know that the true battle isn't for territory or resources, it's for reality itself." Deep within the quantum veil, in a chamber that existed in multiple dimensional states simultaneously, Captain Naira Valen experienced human consciousness for the first time. The neural interface chamber, adapted for Xeric physiology, hummed with quantum possibilities as Dr. Elena Martinez guided her through the connection process. "Remember," Elena's voice echoed both in the chamber and in Naira's mind, "don't try to control it. Your consciousness naturally exists in a quantum state. We're just helping you become aware of it." The chamber activated, and Naira's perception expanded beyond anything her species had ever dreamed possible. She saw reality not as a fixed point, but as an ocean of possibilities, each quantum state a wave in an infinite sea of potential. More importantly, she wasn't alone in this perception. Thousands of human minds brushed against her consciousness, each one a unique pattern in the quantum field. She understood now why humanity had developed so differently from other species. They weren't just observing quantum states, they were living them, breathing them, becoming them. "The neural network isn't a technology in the traditional sense," Elena explained, her consciousness a steady presence in the quantum field. "It's a natural evolution of human awareness. We discovered that our brains already processed reality in quantum states. We just needed to learn how to access that ability consciously. Through the network, Naira experienced humanity's journey of discovery. She saw their first tentative steps into quantum consciousness, their realization that reality wasn't fixed, but infinitely malleable to those who could perceive its true nature. She felt their fear when they first detected the Void Collective, sensing the approaching storm of twisted quantum consciousness that threatened to lock reality into a single, unchangeable state. Your species' technology is remarkable. Naira projected her thoughts into the quantum field, watching them ripple through the collective consciousness. But it's also vulnerable. The Void Collective nearly overwhelmed your quantum defenses in that last battle. That's why we need the Xerix. A new consciousness joined them. Sarah Chen, her quantum signature now familiar to Naira. Your understanding of traditional space-time physics, combined with our quantum consciousness approach, might be the key to defeating them. Through the neural network, Sarah shared classified footage of humanity's early encounters with the Void Collective. Naira watched as human quantum ships engaged the enemy in distant star systems, testing their capabilities, learning their weaknesses. The Void Collective's power was immense, but it was rigid, inflexible, a brute force approach to quantum manipulation that sought to impose rather than harmonize. They were like us once. Elena's consciousness rippled with sadness. Another species that discovered their quantum nature. But where we learned to work with reality's infinite possibilities, they tried to control them. Each victory locked them further into their philosophy of dominance, until they became what they are now, beings who can only exist by forcing reality to conform to their will. Naira's scientific mind raced with possibilities. Your quantum technology, combined with our traditional energy manipulation, her thought patterns shifted, creating ripples in the quantum field that the human consciousness immediately recognized. Exactly, Sarah's excitement resonated through the network. The Xerix's mastery of energy fields could help stabilize our quantum manipulations, and your understanding of traditional spacetime could help us predict where the Void Collective will try to anchor their consciousness. Through the neural network, they began to plan. Human quantum consciousness merged with Xeric scientific precision, creating new possibilities that neither species could have conceived alone. The Starweaver's crew, initially skeptical of connecting their minds to the network, found themselves drawn into the collaborative quantum space where ideas existed as tangible things, able to be examined and modified in real time. But as they worked, a disturbing pattern emerged in the quantum field. The Void Collective's attacks weren't random. They were systematically targeting systems with specific quantum signatures, signatures that matched the frequency of awakening consciousness. They weren't just trying to control reality. They were trying to prevent other species from discovering their own quantum nature. They're afraid, Naira realized, her thoughts sending waves through the neural network. They fear that if other species awaken to their quantum nature as humanity did, their control over reality will be challenged. Yes, Sarah's consciousness pulsed with grim determination, and now they've detected something that terrifies them even more: the possibility of different approaches to quantum consciousness working together. The combination of human quantum manipulation and Xeric traditional physics threatens everything they believe about how reality should be controlled. The neural network hummed with increased activity as more minds joined the connection: human dreamers, Xeric scientists, and AI constructs that helped bridge the gap between traditional and quantum computing. Together, they began to forge something new, a hybrid approach to understanding and manipulating reality that drew from both species' strengths. As Naira floated in this sea of shared consciousness, she felt the first tremors of another Void Collective attack rippling through quantum space. But this time, they would be ready. This time, they would face the enemy not as separate species with different approaches to reality, but as a unified consciousness that embraced both traditional physics and quantum possibility. They're coming. Sarah's consciousness reached out to all connected minds. And they're bringing everything they have. They know now that we've joined forces, and they can't allow this collaboration to continue. Through the neural network, Naira felt humanity's resolve merge with Xeric determination. The upcoming battle wouldn't just be for survival. It would determine whether reality itself remained a realm of infinite possibility or became locked into the Void Collective's singular vision of existence. The Void Collective's main fleet arrived in waves of shattered reality, their massive ships tearing holes in the quantum fabric of space itself. But this time, waiting for them within the quantum veil, was something unprecedented. A merged fleet of human quantum vessels, angelic warships, their technologies intertwined in ways that defied conventional understanding. The UES Prometheus, now augmented with Jarek energy manipulation systems, led the defense. Captain Naira Valen stood on her own bridge, the Starweaver's systems now deeply integrated with the human neural network. Through the quantum field, she felt the presence of Sarah Chen and thousands of human dreamers, their consciousness synchronized with Jarek tactical precision. They'd brought their reality anchor. Sarah's thoughts resonated through the network. If they manage to deploy it, they'll lock down quantum space in this entire sector. Everything we are, everything we can become, will be frozen in a single state of their choosing. The Void Collective's flagship emerged from the largest reality tear, a massive construct of twisted consciousness and corrupted matter that seemed to devour possibility itself. In its wake, reality became rigid, quantum states collapsing into singular, unchangeable forms. All vessels, execute Pattern Omega, Naira commanded, her orders flowing through both traditional communications and the quantum field. The merged fleet responded as one, human quantum ships phasing through multiple states of reality, while Jarek vessels projected energy fields that stabilized their transitions. The battle that followed transcended traditional combat. The Void Collective attempted to lock down sections of spacetime, only to find their efforts disrupted by precisely calibrated Jarek energy pulses. When they tried to overwhelm the defenders with brute quantum force, they encountered human consciousness spread across multiple possibilities, impossible to pin down or eliminate. The anchor is powering up. Elena Martinez's warning pulsed through the neural network. They're trying to establish a quantum containment field. Once it's active, they'll be able to make their version of reality permanent. Through the shared consciousness, Naira felt humanity's fear merge with Jarek determination. They had prepared for this, developed new techniques that combined both species' understanding of reality. But theory was about to be tested against the raw power of the Void Collective's twisted quantum technology. Initiate possibility storm, Sarah commanded. The Prometheus began to shift, its form bleeding across quantum states while Jarek energy fields contained and directed the transformation. Across the fleet, human dreamers poured their consciousness into the quantum field, not fighting against the Void Collective's attempts to control reality, but adding to them, multiplying possibilities faster than they could be locked down. The Void flagship responded with overwhelming force, its reality anchor beginning to pulse with dark energy that consumed quantum potential. But this was the moment they had prepared for. Through the neural network, Naira directed the Starweaver's energy arrays, not at the enemy ships, but at the space between possibilities. Now, Sarah's consciousness merged with Naira's, their combined while directing the fleet's response. Human quantum manipulation and Jarek energy technology synchronized perfectly, creating something entirely new. They weren't fighting against the Void Collective's attempt to control reality. They were expanding reality faster than it could be controlled. The Prometheus transformed into a quantum catalyst, its human crew projecting their consciousness through the gaps created by Jarek energy fields. The Starweaver's arrays amplified these projections, turning them from mere possibilities into new quantum spaces, entire layers of reality that the Void Collective couldn't possibly lock down. Their anchor can only affect reality it can define. Elena's thoughts raced through the network. So we'll give it more reality than it can process. The merged fleet executed their plan with perfect precision. Human quantum ships slipped between possibilities while Jarek vessels created new space-time configurations around them. Each attempt by the Void Collective to establish control simply created more opportunities for manipulation, more quantum states to explore and expand. The reality anchor began to overload, unable to process the exponentially increasing quantum possibilities surrounding it. The Void flagship's attempts to force reality into a single state were met with an infinity of new states, each one supported by the combined power of human consciousness and Jarek physics. Their quantum field is collapsing, Naira announced, watching through both traditional sensors and quantum perception as the Void Collective's rigid control began to fracture. They can't maintain their hold on space-time. Through the neural network, they felt the exact moment when the enemy's quantum manipulation failed. The reality anchor, designed to impose a single version of existence, instead became a conduit for infinite possibility. The Void flagship, unable to exist in a reality it couldn't control, began to break apart across quantum dimensions. The remaining Void ships, their quantum signatures destabilizing, retreated through rapidly closing reality tiers. They left behind not just a battlefield, but a fundamentally altered understanding of existence itself. Human quantum consciousness and Jarek scientific precision had combined to create something greater than either species had imagined possible. As the quantum disturbances settled, Naira felt Sarah's consciousness touch her own one final time. "This is what we were waiting for," the human commander shared. "Not just allies in war, but partners in evolution." The Void Collective thought they could control reality by forcing it into a single state. "We proved that reality thrives on possibility, on cooperation, on the infinite potential that comes from different approaches working together." The merged fleet regrouped in the quantum veil, human and Jarek crews, now bound together by shared experience and understanding. They had faced an enemy that sought to limit the very nature of existence and had defeated it not through superior firepower or technology, but through the simple truth that reality itself favors those who embrace its infinite nature. "There will be others," Naira projected through the neural network, her consciousness now as comfortable in quantum space as it was in normal reality. "Other species will awaken to their quantum nature. Some might follow the Void Collective's path. Then we'll be ready," Sarah responded, her thoughts echoed by thousands of minds across the network. "Not to control them, but to show them what's possible when you stop trying to force reality to obey and instead learn to dance with its infinite possibilities." As the fleet began its journey home, Naira realized that this victory marked not just the end of a battle, but the beginning of a new era. Humanity had hidden its true nature for decades, waiting for the right moment to reveal their quantum evolution. Now, joined with Jarek knowledge and technology, they had created something unprecedented, a partnership that transcended traditional physics and quantum mechanics, pointing the way toward a future where consciousness itself would guide the evolution of reality.